In the concrete jungle where skyscrapers touch the sky and fortunes are made and lost in the blink of an eye, a story unfolded. In the bustling city of Sao Paulo in Brazil, the year was 2005, and the target was one of the most secure banks in the country. A story of strategic brilliance and audacity. And if you thought you've heard it all, wait till you learn about the meticulous planning, the risky maneuvers, and the shocking inside job that made this heist a thing of legend. But first, allow me to introduce our protagonist, or should I say anti-heroes. A group of men who dared to challenge the very core of Brazil's financial system. Our first character is Fernando, a man who knew the inner workings of the bank better than anyone else. He was not just an employee, he was a trusted insider. Enter Carlos, a former cop who brought a unique set of skills and connections to the table. His knowledge of law enforcement procedures proved invaluable. Then there was Amarildo, a mastermind strategist whose cunning and quick thinking were key to navigating the treacherous waters of the heist. Jose, a man of few words, but with a heart of gold, added his own brand of charm to the mix. And let's not forget Wilson, the engineer. His expertise was crucial in pulling off some of the most daring aspects of the robbery. Finally, completing our ensemble cast is Riquinho, the getaway driver, always ready with a plan B when things went awry. Together, this band of unlikely heroes set out to pull off what would become the largest bank robbery in Brazilian history. Now let's delve into the plot, a tale of careful planning and daring execution. The year is 2005, and our crew has spent months laying the groundwork. They had studied the bank's routines, security measures, and even the behavior of the guards. They knew the layout of the building like the back of their hands. It was almost as if they could navigate the halls of the bank blindfolded. On the day of the heist, they made sure to blend in, wearing uniforms that screamed normalcy. The target, a massive vault containing millions of dollars in cash and securities. It was like aiming for the crown jewel of the bank, a fortress within a fortress. But our crew was undeterred. As they entered the bank, it was just another day for most people. Customers sipped their coffee, chatted with tellers, and generally went about their daily business. They had no inkling of the drama that was about to unfold right under their noses. The crew moved with the precision of a well-oiled machine. Fernando, with his insider knowledge, led the way. Carlos, ever the strategist, kept an eye on the unfolding situation, making split-second decisions when needed. Amarildo, the brains of the operation, orchestrated everything from a hidden command center. Jose, quiet but effective, played his part flawlessly. And Wilson, the engineer, put his skills to the ultimate test, ensuring every technical aspect of the heist went according to plan. Meanwhile, Ronaldo was Ghost, always ready to make a clean getaway. Their entry into the bank was so inconspicuous that it went unnoticed for hours. As they moved deeper into the building, they began their work, disarming the security system one by one. They bypassed cameras, disabled alarms, and even turned off the surveillance monitors. It was as if they had a personal invisibility cloak, allowing them to move freely through the bank's premises. But the real challenge was yet to come. The crew needed to gain access to the vault, the final frontier of their heist. Now, the vault was heavily guarded, both physically and electronically. Getting in was like trying to crack the Da Vinci Code. However, our crew was up to the task. They used their combined skills and knowledge to crack the vault's security code. It was a nail-biting moment, but they managed to breach the vault's defenses. Inside lay the fruits of the bank's labor, millions of dollars in cash and securities. The crew wasted no time in loading up their backpacks, carefully selecting the loot. It was a surreal moment, a culmination of months of planning and preparation. But the heist was far from over. Now came the most daring part of their plan, the escape. The crew had prepared multiple escape routes, just in case something went awry. They had disguised getaway cars, fake license plates, and even decoy drivers. It was like a scene straight out of an action movie. They made their way to the getaway cars, blending seamlessly with the crowd. Thanks to their disguises, the crew drove away from the bank with their loot intact. It was a stunning success, a heist for the ages. But their adventure was just beginning. With the bags full of cash, the crew disappeared into the maze of Brazilian streets. The police were baffled. How could someone pull off such a daring heist? They scoured the city, following every lead, but the crew seemed to have vanished into thin air. It was as if they had left no trace behind. Meanwhile, the crew was holed up in a safe house, counting their hard-earned spoils. They had pulled off the impossible, stealing millions from one of the most secure banks in the country. But their victory was short-lived. The media was in a frenzy. Headlines blared the news of the audacious bank robbery, shaking the nation. The police were determined to recover the stolen money and bring the culprits to justice. But the crew had planned for this. They had anticipated the police response and prepared accordingly. They moved from one safe house to another, each one more secure than the last. The police were on their trail, but they were always just one step behind. As weeks turned into months, the mystery deepened. Where were the robbers? What had become of the stolen money? The public was on the edge of its seat, desperate for answers. Some believed the crew had fled to other countries, laundering the money and starting new lives. Others thought the gang had disbanded, each member going their separate ways with the loot. But the truth was far more intriguing. Fernando, with his intimate knowledge of the bank, had seen enough. He contacted the authorities, offering to return the money in exchange for immunity from prosecution. The authorities agreed, ending his reign as a wanted man. Carlos, the former cop, slipped back into his old life, erasing any trace of his involvement in the heist. Amarildo, the mastermind, vanished without a trace, leaving authorities clueless about his whereabouts. Jose, the quiet one, resurfaced in a small town, living a simple life under a new identity. Wilson, the engineer, retreated into his world of numbers and gadgets, seemingly untouchable. And finally, Reginaldo, the getaway driver, took to the road, never staying in one place for too long. So what became of them after this daring heist? Well, some say they lived out their days as millionaires, enjoying luxury and comfort, far from the prying eyes of the public. Others claim that they vanished into thin air, leaving behind nothing but a legend. The reality, as often happens, is probably somewhere in between. Now, the interesting thing is that this audacious heist didn't just make headlines in Brazil, it became a global sensation. The international community was stunned by the sheer audacity of the crime. It was a wake-up call for banks worldwide, pushing them to reevaluate their security measures and protocols. But it also captured the imagination of people around the world. The story was so gripping that it inspired books, documentaries, and even TV shows. Who doesn't love a good heist story, right? In recent years, the Netflix series Money Heist has gained worldwide popularity. The show, loosely based on this very robbery, has captivated audiences with its intricate plot and charismatic characters. But let's be honest, the real story is always better than fiction. The actual events surrounding this Brazilian bank robbery were filled with more twists and turns than a Hollywood script. It was a real-life drama that kept everyone on the edge of their seats. The impact of this heist extended beyond the realm of finance. It became a cultural phenomenon. People discussed it over dinner tables, debated it at water coolers, and marveled at the sheer brilliance of the crew. It was the kind of story that made you shake your head in disbelief, and at the same time, you couldn't help but admire the audacity. The story of this bank robbery is a testament to human ingenuity and the lengths to which people will go to outsmart the system. It's a tale of camaraderie, skill, and daring that continues to captivate people around the world. So if you ever find yourself stuck in a rut, just remember the story of the Brazilian bank robbery crew. Sometimes the most impossible tasks are the ones that are most fun to accomplish. Thank you for joining us on this journey. And don't forget to hit the like button for more captivating stories. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the world, because you never know what adventures await you.